Before we get on to this week's edition of the British Fist Q&A, we'd just like to take a minute or so of this video time to remember the good and the bad, but, well, mainly the bad of TNA, really. The aces and eights, the continuous faction versus faction storylines, the TNA being able to draw less to a house show than we can do for one of our lowest viewing videos. Eric Young being the champion, Chris Sabin being the champion, and all the things that TNA have done over the years. I mean, can you remember any good things about TNA? I mean, I would just come out and say no straight away, but you just have to add dramatic effect to it.
Buddy Ray.
Dramatic effect, something that TNA haven't really got the grasp of either. But, you know, jokes aside, well, not really jokes aside, but TNA, according to reports, are losing their TV deal with Spike. If you have any thoughts on that, ask us some questions in the comment section below. Maybe they'll get answered in about 4 or 5 Q&A's time, knowing our schedule if you have the patience. But yeah, so that just seemed a perfect way to start off this video, making a little bit of a joke out of TNA, a company which we've lost our faith in, well, for quite some time now. But anyway, on to Q&A 164 with us, the British Fist.
Catching.
On a more positive note, this video will draw more viewers than an average TNA house show will. I may have already said that. I'm Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me is NJ.
What's up?
Or maybe I should call him Roman Reigns R-Truth. Range Truth. There we go. Range Truth. So you're RT now, not NJ. It's funny that we start off this Q&A, which, by the way, you can ask us questions in the comment section. That is the whole point of a Q&A video. It's quite funny that we start off with a topic that maybe was good about 2 months ago, and that is the WWE releases. Sir Lord Mark, how do you feel? Bye-bye, Brodus Clay.
They failed him with the Big Show feud.
Yeah, they did kind of fail him. He did seem like one of those guys that could at least have some role in the WWE, so I think they did fail him. Camacho?
No.
Kurt Hawkins?
Should have stayed with Zack Ryder.
But Evan Bourne could have been a mid-carder, but that was really about it. Was never going to go beyond that.
He had some good spots, but not enough, obviously, because of his injury.
Yoshi Tatsu?
They tried to give him a few in-ring moments back in the day, but not anymore.
Does that remind you of anything? Yeah, bowing. Jinder Mahal, I think, had the potential to be somewhat of a good heel, but WWE turned him into 3MB, like Drew McIntyre, who's also been released. Bit of a shame there. Aksana, Teddy Long was really playing no role in the company.
Cesaro, it was not good. The whole Cesaro relationship and all that.
I was going to say, it's almost like you said Cesaro was released.
No,
the internet was going to kill you then, just as you said that. So yeah, on the whole, the releases just are kind of meh. Really, they're not really going to lose. And it's all part of the budget cuts to do with the losses of the WWE Network. Matt Hennessy, who do you think WWE will bring up to the main roster next from NXT? Ooh, this is a tough one. I think the Ascension are going to be brought up at some point because I think a new tag team needs to be put in there. I imagine Adrian Neville may drop the NXT Championship and maybe go up to the main roster. I don't know when. I'd say the next people they'll bring up are the Ascension, and you've seen teasers of the Ascension, and you know what they're about, don't you?
They've been tweeting quite a bit by saying once we accomplish this, on to Raw. So I wouldn't be surprised if between now and Mania they are in the WWE.
Matt Hennessy, who do you think? Yeah, I've already said that one. I'm having one of those days, people. I did also get knocked off my bike as well, so I'm having one of those days. 5 Knockley. Do you think Dean Ambrose will ever get a title shot of some sort? Yeah. I mean, he's already had a US title. So, I mean, as for a world title, perhaps at some point down the line he'll get a title shot, but probably won't win.
I think he will get a title shot because the way the WWE are, the guys who can produce the WWE something get a chance to go for the championship.
WWE is sold on pushing Roman Reigns, so they may forget Dean. What are your thoughts? Well, to be honest, from what I've seen on Raw, from what little I've seen on Raw, and a little bit from Battleground as well, Dean Ambrose seems like he's one of the more over people and more unique, larger-than-life characters in the WWE right now. So while Roman Reigns is obviously going to be pushed as a main event guy, as we know Vince McMahon likes to do, I don't think they'll forget Dean Ambrose. I still think they can get something big out of that Dean Ambrose character, especially now while the character's quite hot.
Even though from day one I saw a heel in him, the fact that the WWE are portraying as a face, it looks like he's going to be a character they could turn face or heel when they want, which will help his push.
Jack Daly. Do you think that bringing back the brand extension would be a good or bad thing? There's not really much point now, is there? Because, superstars, they don't really have enough on the roster to really have star power on SmackDown and then different star power on Raw. They just don't have that anymore.
As much as I would prefer everything WWE related on Raw and use SmackDown for NXT so they get a 2-hour shot on big TV, yes, but brand split, Raw, SmackDown, WWE, no.
A 2-hour NXT. I could only dream of the day that could happen. Although we do get some very good NXT 2-hour specials on the WWE Network, people. One of the reasons why you should definitely subscribe to the WWE Network. I mean, yeah, definitely why. Only NXT, nothing else. Jibri Bell. NJ versus R-Truth in a What's Up, who would win?
What's up? I think R-Truth, has lost it. He's doing his own thing. The What's Up is not him anymore. To question that, I'm sorry, people.
If only us white middle-class people, British people, could rap, hey, MJ. Robert Hernandez. The Wyatt family is great, but what will happen to Eric Rowan and Luke Harper if they do split from Bray Wyatt? Eric Rowan will probably end up going back to NXT. I don't think I can't see him really doing much in the WWE without having the Wyatt family gimmick to him. Luke Harper seems to be okay.
Eric Rowan, it wasn't his fault.
I really don't get that.
Gene Sinitsky, he had that kind of thing going for him. They could quite easily reinvent that with him.
Speaking of Gene Sinitsky, he was at the recent TNA tapings as one of the WWE CW guys. And they wonder why they didn't renew their deal with Spike. I'm just saying. As for Luke Harper, he should be fine. The guy can kind of talk on the mic. He has a good look and obviously a good character. And obviously can have a good wrestling match as well, which kind of helps. So he'll do all right, I think.
I feel that breaking them up, there are some tag teams you should not break up. And yes, you may see potential in one of them. But as a tag team, as a family, they should really stay together. JP
Payne, a very sensitive subject here. Do you think race/nationality matters in the WWE? Really, if you want the proper answer, you're going to have to ask the WWE. However, we can give our opinion on whether we feel it matters in WWE, which I feel you are asking us. I mean, the new Nation of Domination with Kofi and all them lot, what's all that about?
I'm not sure. I have to tune in for the week just gone. But the thing I want to quickly say about this is Mark Henry not winning the WWE, Jinder Mahal not actually getting to go for the World Heavyweight. Two examples of wrestlers who may have fought their way to different championships, but the WWE never gave them that. And
here's the really stupid thing about it, actually. Like Jinder Mahal, if they built him up as a star, he could have been some kind of star when they go to tour Asia or something like that. I mean, it's one of the reasons why they got Kenta into WWE, because he's a massive star in Japan. Imagine if they go over to Japan or have some kind of Japanese version of the WWE Network out there. Imagine how much business they could do with him as the face. Now, I don't know why they couldn't have done that with other parts of the world, like Wade Barrett, build him up into a star. Sheamus, when you go to Ireland, etc., on the very rare occasion. When you go to Asia, you've got all these Asian wrestlers. Africa, you've got like a Justin Gabriel, you can go there. You've got South America, and you've got luchadors that you could build up into stars. But it just seems like bad business that WWE just aren't doing this.
Somehow, I think this nationality racing is seen as fault. Somehow.
Yeah, you think everything's Cena's fault. You should blame Cena's fault on death. I don't know. Heisenberg717. What are your thoughts on EC3? I feel a bit sorry for him right now because he's in the company that might be dying, and he does a good character. But will WWE take him back? I don't know. But as a character, I thought he was great.
The Rockstar Spud and EC3 were one of the funniest things on that show by far, and the fact they worked well together, the fact that he was building himself up against top names, a bit like, well, not as bad as Fandango did with Jericho. It was a lot better than that. So I think it's a real shame that just when he's possibly getting hotter and hotter and hotter each month, this happened.
Very true, MJ. Andrew Watson, judging by how shitty WWE books faces, why do fans want Barrett to turn? Because if they do, people will start booing him because of the shitty booking. I just think it's not necessarily, it's the gimmick, it's the bad news Barrett gimmick, and people seem to just want to cheer it. And if people want to cheer it, you can hardly keep him as a heel, can you? Otherwise, you'd be one of the most least effective heels in the company. Then again, John Cena gets booed half the time, and he's not. And WWE see him as the top babyface in the company.
It's like when you found something that works for someone.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to hold on to that, push it as far as you can. So if the WWE or Barrett has found something that works for him, of course you're going to latch onto it, push it to the extreme as far as you can. So hopefully, when Barrett returns, they continue to do so.
Indeed. Tim Crace. What about Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar? WrestleMania 31, Reigns wins the Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar keeps the title, Reigns beats Lesnar at WrestleMania in the main event, makes Roman Reigns a star. So I like the idea, even if it's not for the title, it would still be a pretty good match.
I think that with Brock Lesnar facing guys who already made it, if he faced someone that hadn't, I think it'd be brilliant. And this match, big guy versus big guy, great.
I mean, a part-timer putting over a newer guy just makes perfect sense. What matches would you like to see at TLC? When is TLC this year? Is it still in December? Or
yes.
I don't really. Okay, so we got a while. So, I mean, I'd like to see like a good ladder match involving tag teams or something. Maybe even a TLC match involving tag teams. We haven't had one of them in a while. I'd like to see a good mid-card feud with like a ladder match or something for maybe the IC Championship.
The exciting thing about TLC is that, yes, you expect great ladder matches, great table matches, but I've always been a fan of chair matches. You know, the way the WWE used the TLC concept to make chair matches. Chair matches! Frick's sake.
It would be like getting a table and breaking it and making table leg matches. Just wouldn't work, would
But what matches do we want to see? Okay. In ladder matches.
Well, I really don't...
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, Seth Rollins.
Up there,
yeah,
with someone with the likes of, it's gonna probably be, I think Orton. I know he's a bit stiff, but I think him doing diving RKOs and stuff.
Yeah.
Other people, RVD, but I think RVD's gone.
I think it's too far ahead to really determine. But I just know I want to see a good tag team match. I want to see a good mid card feud, and I want to see a good TLC main event, a good TLC match that isn't just going to be for the WWE title. Basically. Do you think Edge will become the new GM of Raw?
No.
No, I mean, he's doing work. He's doing an acting thing now with Haven, and I just, especially when WWE now got Sting, they've got like the perfect guy for a babyface GM. But the problem is now they've got the Authority, who are basically the GM. So what's the point in having a GM?
Thing is, I celebrated when they got rid of Brad Maddox, I think his name was, and Vicky Guerrero.
Vixie Guerrero. Would you about to say Vixie?
I forgot her name. Because when they got rid of those two, it was pretty much the Authority show, and they were just doing the odd segment. So I think moving on to the Authority, the future of the WWE, is going to be the best bet than bringing Edge or Sting, bringing the GM role back.
We don't want a power struggle. For God's sake, we do not want a power struggle. Another reason why TNA failed. Would you... Yeah, literally, they've missed the two-pointer. Or in this case, they missed the fucking slam dunk. Would you like to see Raw go back to 2 hours? Well, it doesn't really bother me because I don't really care about Raw anymore. But as for you, who watches it on a weekly basis, would you like to see it go to 2 hours?
All I'll say is that minus the Flow Rider thing that particular week, I feel they would have put more filler into Raw. But it weren't a bad Raw. But it's rare we get a pretty long, good Raw. So 2 hour slot would be better.
And I think the third hour just makes a good Raw into a bad Raw and a very good Raw into just a good Raw, unfortunately. But it's more money for the WWE. We can't really complain about that. It is a business after all. Do you think that Vince McMahon will return to Raw to take out the Authority? I hope not, because I think this. I don't really want to see Vince McMahon taking up too much TV time and being a massive part of the WWE when really, you know, he shouldn't really be taking up that much to being in an important storyline unless it's just to sort of support it, in my opinion, not to be like the antagonist. I think he should just stick with Triple H and Stephanie, personally.
This gives me the perfect time to say that me and the third member of the British Fist, Mark Ryden, did a video booking our main WrestleMania matches. And because of the Vince McMahon eventually not going to be the chairman or on TV like he is now, I feel that he could come back and have a storyline with Triple H where Triple H takes over storyline just so fans can think that or know that Vince is no longer a part of it. So I'd say yes. Who
do you think should host WrestleMania 31? We had Hogan last year. Just don't have a host. For God's sake, just it doesn't matter. The host, it doesn't. What the fuck does the host do ever? Never anything. So just don't have a host. Hell, have the British Fist host WrestleMania 31. At least we could plug ourselves a little bit and maybe get a couple more subscribers.
There is one person, the host definitely will not be fans.
Yeah, CM Punk, yeah, he would.
God.
Although, to be honest, he has been co-hosting a couple of TV programs, so you never know. Deco5757. Is wrestling just a very slowly dying business? Judging by ratings, judging by how much I believe the internet affects the WWE and wrestling, I'd say yes, but you never really know with wrestling. It went down last time, and people probably think it was dying, and then the Attitude Era came, and it shot back up again. So you never really know with the wrestling business. But with the internet being around, streaming being around, how can they ever go back to doing fantastic business when they've got so many things in their way that they're just not going to embrace?
I feel that slowly dying, just depending on your definition, because I think wrestling, WWE, is always going to be around, always going to have enough income to get them to continue producing their stuff. More times are going to be coming in. People are going to continue watching, even if they say, oh, this is getting rubbish now. People are still watching it. So I think that it's not going to die in that aspect.
Renegade, like TNA, Renegade Man 83 has asked us quite a few questions, which will end the Q&A on how long do you think it will take for John Cena to break Ric Flair's title reign, and if he does, will you still watch WWE?
I'll tell you quickly. He's going to beat Brock Lesnar's going to beat him. John Cena will win the rematch, and he's in level with Ric Flair.
Eventually, he will take over, and I wouldn't give a shit because I'm kind of over Cena. Are you a Rosebud or a believer? I'm both. I'm a believer, and I'm a Rosebud. This guy here ain't a Rosebud.
Lemon and a believer.
Don't stop believing. Just epic. Out of the 11 wrestlers WWE released, which of those wrestlers do you think they should give a second chance to? Drew McIntyre, maybe. Brodus Clay, maybe. They're the two that stand out for me.
If I'd say anyone, it would definitely be Xana. I think they no. I'd say it would be Jinder's slipped up. I'm gonna give it to Drew McIntyre, not Brodus. He's gone.
The British factor is there still, even though he's Scottish. If Drew McIntyre didn't cheat on his wife and have her cause a scene, do you think he would be a big star today? I think we don't really know because sometimes plans change. We don't really know if he would have been a big star. Maybe he would have been a main eventer and won Money in the Bank that year. Maybe even if they did make him win Money in the Bank that year, he wouldn't be a star. We don't really know because we didn't really get a chance to see him properly be at a main event level.
He was the chosen one, Teddy. Yes, he was the chosen one going against SmackDown Jen Ranter Theodore Long. So yes, I think he was.
Such a bad Scottish accent there. I know someone that could have done it much better. That's my friend David. Will WWE, I mean, he's not here. Will WWE ever put the belt on a brother? Well, I only have one brother, and I doubt that the WWE will put on him, even though he does have the traditional WWE big man look. So I doubt. I'm joking. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. A black guy. I don't know. I mean, obviously, Mark Henry is on his last legs, really. Will they give it to like a Biggie, a Kofi, or something like that? I just don't see it happening. I just don't.
What would be great, even though the WWE won't do it because he's likely to get injured, I'd say Mark Henry, when he's got onto his last few months, why not? And then have someone beat the big dominant Mark Henry. But
who do you think should be the next NXT champion? Well, Adrian Neville is the champion currently. I think the next logical champion has to be Sami Zayn. I mean, he's been chasing the belt now for quite some time. Very much reminds me of the whole Daniel Bryan storyline. And I think, the one person on the roster that I think is good enough to take it is definitely Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn can lose 10 matches and still be just as over and still be a title contender. So for me, Sami Zayn. How about you, NJ?
I'd say it's Ric Flair's daughter. Now,
Charlotte.
Thank you very much for watching, people. This has been Mr. Parkins sitting right here. And please share your questions on the quality of TNA, the quality of the WWE, and the quality of NXT, ROH, Jarrett's thing in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. And goodbye.
Goodbye, TNA. It's been nice knowing you. Not.